Liverpool drama is heating up from Mohamed Salah's telling reaction to late injury blows and VAR controversy. There's plenty to unpack at Anfield. Welcome to Anfield Wire, your home for the latest Liverpool news, reactions, and transfer updates. If you're a true Red and don't want to miss a single update, make sure you hit that subscribe button now and join the Anfield Wire family. Mohamed Salah's smile said it all after latest Liverpool letdown. This isn't his team anymore. The Liverpool forward's reaction said it all after he trudged off the pitch at the City ground. Even more alarmingly, the team was better after his substitution. He sat there smiling. Inside, this must surely be tearing him apart. Mohamed Salah's beaming grin has so often provided the backdrop to Liverpool's greatest triumphs over the last decade. Premier League titles, Champions League glory, spectacular comebacks, Salah's sparkling gnashers have accompanied it all. Yet as Liverpool grabbed another remarkable win in dramatic circumstances, he was nowhere to be seen. Salah wasn't on the pitch when Alexis Mac Allister knocked in the injury-time winner against Nottingham Forest. Nearly 20 minutes prior, with Liverpool chasing a goal, Arne Slot had opted to withdraw, the club's third-highest all-time scorer. Since his 2017 arrival at Anfield, Salah, more than anyone, has been relied on for moments of magic. Unfortunately, that is no longer the case. Sunday's events at the City ground were proof of that. As the Egyptian trudged off the pitch in Nottinghamshire, there was no sense of discontent. Less than 4 months after his indignant outburst in the Elland Road mixed zone, even Salah seems to have accepted the shifting status quo. As he took his place on the bench alongside Cody Gakpo, who was also withdrawn following an underwhelming showing, the 33-year-old smirked. How best to describe that grin? Rueful? Telling? Sarcastic? Either way, this was certainly not gleeful. Nor was it typical of the Salah of old, who would have been astonished to see the number 11 flash up on the electronic screen. But after a run of 9 Premier League games without a goal, Salah's longest streak in the competition, even his greatest acolytes cannot seriously claim his role in the side should be guaranteed. This team isn't the Mohamed Salah team anymore, Jamie Carragher succinctly summed up before the game. No one watching Sunday's disheartening display on the banks of the Trent could argue with that sentiment. Even more damning than Salah's disappointing stats are his in-game mannerisms. Salah's touch repeatedly lets him down. He routinely fails to find teammates with passes. Most alarming is the forward's physical decline. For a player who has gone to such great lengths to maintain his athleticism, too often he is now barged off the ball by opposition players. His capacity to wriggle through gaps with the ball is almost non-existent. This is not an overreaction to one performance, a theme that has followed too many Liverpool games this campaign. Salah's displays have frustrated for months. He may have showcased a flash of his old swagger last week against Brighton and Hove Albion, interestingly, against one of the division's less physical sides, but that has become the exception rather than the norm for the ex-Roma and Fiorentina man. That he was outshone by substitute Rio Ngumoha was emblematic of Liverpool's direction of travel. Assuming, as many now do, that this is to be Salah's swansong season at Anfield, Ngumoha will surely play a significant role in the Reds' attacking rebuild. The teenager completed more dribbles and created more scoring opportunities than either Salah or Gakpo during his on-field cameo. Ngumoha did more in 15 minutes than Salah and Gakpo did before that. He changed the game and needs to be starting games, opined Carragher. Unsurprisingly, only one of those wingers felt comfortable stopping in the post-match mixed zone at the City ground. While Ngumoha showed maturity beyond his years with that decision, Salah's choice to dismiss reporters' requests was telling in itself. He won't repeat that mistake again. There was a playful grin and a light-hearted joke from the Liverpool icon as he shook his head and politely declined those requests. Once the embodiment of Liverpool triumph, his smiles have a different meaning now. Liverpool forced into last-minute change versus Nottingham Forest after Florian Wirtz injury. Liverpool's preparations for their Premier League clash with Nottingham Forest were thrown into chaos after Florian Wirtz suffered an injury during the warm-up at the City ground. An injury to Florian Wirtz saw Liverpool make a last-minute change to their starting 11 against Nottingham Forest. Wirtz, 23, is understood to have suffered a muscle injury in the warm-up, forcing Arne Slot to replace him with Curtis Jones. The German's absence adds to Liverpool's woes on the fitness front. Wirtz joins the likes of Alexander Isak, Jeremy Frimpong, Wataru Endo, Connor Bradley and Giovanni Leone on the sidelines. Slot is expected to provide an update on the midfielder post-match. Wirtz's injury comes as he was picking up form in a Liverpool shirt, having endured a slow start to life at Anfield following his £116 million move last summer. The former Bayer Leverkusen star has scored 6 goals and provided 3 assists in his last 14 appearances. Wirtz was outstanding in Liverpool's last Premier League outing, as he dazzled to help the Reds record a hard-fought 1-0 win away to Sunderland. After Chelsea dropped points on Saturday, and with Manchester United not in action until Monday, Liverpool can boost their hopes of qualifying for the Champions League by beating Forest. Their hosts are in desperate need of 3 points, too, as they battle to avoid relegation under new manager Vitor Pereira. Portuguese boss Pereira enjoyed a winning start to his Forest tenure on Thursday, as they romped to a 3-0 victory over Fenerbahce in their Europa League playoff first leg. Forest also beat Liverpool in the reverse fixture in November. Back then they were in a different management as well, because I think it was Sean Dyche's third or fourth game, Slot said at his pre-match press conference. That sometimes makes it a little bit more difficult because we only have tonight to see if this manager changes personnel, changes tactics. The good thing is that there is still one game to be played before we play them, and we, of course, know him because he worked last season in the Premier League as well. But usually you would also adapt to the players you have. Although managers have a preferred playing style, you take into account which players you have as well. So, let's see. It was a difficult game for us in the beginning of the season, although, again, I'm going to say the same in that the first half hour was very, very good from us, with chance after chance, and then we conceded a set piece and the game went completely the opposite way. So, we know what we can expect if we play Forest because I've played them 3 times already. Rio Ngumoha shares 2-word message after Jamie Carragher's comments on Liverpool talent. Rio Ngumoha was handed a late cameo by Arne Slot in Liverpool's 2-1 win over Nottingham Forest, and the 17-year-old made a big impact in his 13 minutes on the pitch. Rio Ngumoha has posted a 2-word message on social media following Jamie Carragher's effusive Liverpool assessment. The 17-year-old winger was introduced by Arne Slot for the closing 13 minutes against Nottingham Forest at the City Ground, with the visitors chasing a winner. While it was Dominic Szoboszlai, Virgil van Dijk and Alexis Mac Allister who proved crucial to Liverpool netting late on, Ngumoha was outstanding in his brief appearance. Moments before Mac Allister's winner, the Argentine midfielder believed he had secured victory, only for the goal to be disallowed by VAR for handball. Ngumoha had fashioned the opportunity that resulted in Mac Allister's chalked-off goal following some clever footwork and an excellent delivery. After his impressive cameo, the teenager posted on Instagram with several Liverpool stars responding to his update. Accompanying some photographs of him in action and the celebrations, Ngumoha simply stated, 3 points. In the comments section, Harvey Elliott responded, "Well done lil bro." Changed it, while Mac Allister added a clapping emoji. Carragher was another to express his views on Ngumoha, and he bluntly criticized 2 other Liverpool players when lauding his contribution. He remarked on Sky Sports, "Ngumoha did more in 15 minutes than Salah and Gakpo did before that. He changed the game and needs to be starting games. There's no one better in getting last-minute winners in the Premier League, and that is Liverpool." While observing Ngumoha execute several step-overs before whipping in a cross, Carragher remarked, "Here, Rio Ngumoha does something I have not seen a Liverpool-wide player do all season: go at his full-back, commit him and put real quality into the box." Slot appeared equally impressed by his contribution from the substitutes bench, though he seemed to temper expectations regarding increased playing time. He commented, "He is already playing a big role for a 17-year-old player. Tell me where in the Premier League there is a player who has gotten this number of minutes. This tells you about the quality of the talent he possesses, and how much we appreciate him." One player unable to make an impact against Forest was Florian Wirtz, who withdrew from the starting lineup during the warm-up, with Curtis Jones taking his place. When pressed for an injury update, Slot explained, "We don't think it is very serious. He felt his back too much during the warm-up to start. He wasn't able to be 100% or close to 100%. I think after being in this league for 6, 7, or 8 months that no matter how good you are on the ball, you need to be 100% at this level. So we decided not to play him but hope and expect him to be with us next week." Looking ahead, Liverpool welcomes West Ham to Anfield before making the journey to Molineux on 2 occasions within a 4-day period for Premier League and FA Cup 5th-round fixtures against Wolves. Arne Slot makes lucky admission as Liverpool boss agrees with Alexis Mac Allister. Liverpool found a way of winning against Nottingham Forest, with Arne Slot's side playing very poorly in the first half before Alexis Mac Allister netted the winner. Arne Slot admitted that Liverpool was lucky to pick up all 3 points against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, with Alexis Mac Allister securing the victory deep into stoppage time. After a dire first half, Liverpool improved at the City Ground. And even when Mac Allister saw a goal ruled out after he charged down an Ola Aina clearance, the Argentine still had time to fire in a shot from a similar range a few minutes later. "I've seen much more consistency recently, not only in Mac's performance but in the team performance and many individual performances," Slot said in his post-match press conference. But I think it's always nice for a player to score, especially if it's in extra time of extra time. So, we needed this goal, we needed that win to be on the right side of things once in a while. We've been so unlucky this season, and today for the first time, at least it felt to me for the first time, we've been a bit lucky. My emotions were emotions of happiness and relief. This is probably the first time I have to do a different post-match press conference than I did throughout all these other games, because today we did not play a good game. The performance, especially in the first half, was not as we've had so many times this season. But we've been on the wrong side of the score after a good performance far too many times. Today, I think we got more than we deserved. A draw would have been a fairer result of this game than for us to win it. Like Slot, Mac Allister felt that Liverpool played badly, and Nottingham Forest head coach Vitor Pereira was in agreement that his side had been robbed of a point. "That is football," he said. Slot, meanwhile, told his players at halftime that their performance in the first 45 minutes was the worst they had played all season so far, and there have been some real lows. "We defended our box really well, and that was the reason that we were still on 0-0, Slot continued. "Because as much as Nottingham Forest were the better team and were forcing us to go back, we defended really well in our box, in my opinion. We had to defend a lot of set pieces throughout the whole game, but especially in the first half. So if we could bring back that mentality to the whole pitch, combined with doing a few things better on the ball and maybe not lose every ball you touch, because that was almost what happened, then you know that these players can do better." I tried to give them a bit of energy to say, they've played Thursday, a difficult away game, maybe they run out of energy, and we for sure cannot have run out of energy yet, so maybe that can balance the game more or get the game in our advantage. And I pointed out our second half against Manchester City as well. After a first half that's maybe not of the standards we would like to have, we are able to play a much better second half. John Aldridge goes on VAR rant after awful decision almost cost Liverpool. Liverpool legend John Aldridge was left fuming at VAR during the Reds' 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, where Alexis Mac Allister was the late hero. Liverpool legend John Aldridge was furious with VAR during the Reds' 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest at the City Ground, with Alexis Mac Allister having a goal ruled out a few minutes before his winner. Mac Allister deflected a clearance into the goal when Ola Aina tried to boot the ball away, but that was cancelled for a handball offence. The Argentine then reacted quickest inside the box when a Virgil van Dijk header was parried into the centre. In a series of X-posts, Aldridge said the decision to chalk off Mac Allister's first goal was one of the most corrupt decisions I've seen in my 67 years on this earth, despite it being correct. Mac Allister admitted that the ball hit his arm in his post-match interview, and intent is irrelevant when the ball ends up in the back of the net directly as a result of such contact. Nevertheless, Aldridge claimed it was a disgrace to football and an awful decision from the VAR official, Paul Tierney. "They need calling out," he added. "That decision in football terms is a total disgrace." Yes, I said corrupt, and I'll stand by that. Every ex-player would be shocked at that being disallowed. The rules around handball are clear, and Mac Allister found the back of the net a few minutes later anyway. "It did hit my elbow, but I feel like it's a bit harsh," Mac Allister admitted. "It's a bit of both, but I understand the rules. I thought I would get another one. I told Hugo Ekitike that this would be our goal, and I'm glad that it went in. We need to analyze what we did well and what went wrong. The intensity wasn't there, but we did what we did to win." "Is it his first goal?" "Oh, I wasn't aware of that," Arne Slot said when he was asked about it. "I think what he needed is what he showed in the last 6, 7, or 8 games, a run of games where he's getting back to his usual level that he showed so many times last season. And he had that level also in the first half of the season, but it went a bit with ups and downs, as the team went in terms of performances with ups and downs. But I see much more consistency recently, not only in Macca's performance but in the team performance and many individual performances. I think it's always nice for a player to score, especially if it's in extra time of extra time. So, we needed this goal, we needed that win to be on the right side of things once in a while, because we've been so unlucky this season. And today for the first time, at least it felt to me for the first time, we've been a bit lucky this season.